let's talk about this amazing story. So FTX, you thought you heard the last of FTX, right? If you're, calling all Democratic politicians right now, I hope you're paying attention, because bankrupt crypto exchange FTX would like to get some of their money back from you. So the company just issued a statement, and this is the front page of The Guardian. Bankrupt FTX exchange asks for its political donations to be returned. So the company says in a statement this weekend that political figures, political action funds, and other recipients of contributions or other payments that were made by or at the direction of the FTX debtors, Samuel Bankman Fried, or other officers of principals of the FTX debtors, must be returned by February 28th, 2023. You've got 22 days left, guys. Is that right? Is my math right on that? 28 minus 6? Yeah. You've got 22 days left to return that FTX dirty money, or they're going to pull you into bankruptcy court, according to the filing. And you'll be paying the money back anyway with interest then. So pay it back now without interest, or go through bankruptcy court and we'll know who you are, and then you'll pay it back with interest. This is amazing. So who is going to cough up these ill-gotten gains? That's what I'd like to know. We knew that Beto O'Rourke said that he would return his FTX donations. Anybody else? Anybody else? Hello? Anybody? Bueller? And the Democratic National Committee will also, they're going to return some of their money. Sam Bankman-Fried also donated generously to Maxine Waters and President Biden. So do you remember when President Biden, or when Corinne Jean-Pierre was asked about this, like, hey, is Biden going to return the money that he got from Sam Bankman-Fried? And shouldn't he, though? Because, it's dirty money. But of course, we know that the way the money was laundered right through Ukraine and then back to the Democrats. So the military industrial complex funnels billions into Ukraine, and then that money is funneled back to Democrats in the Biden administration in a beautiful, brilliant money laundering scheme that went belly up. So Corinne Jean-Pierre was asked the question in the White House briefing room, hey, when is Biden going to pay back this money? Will he pay back this FTX money? Here's what she said.
Thanks, Corinne. Obviously, the news that the former FTX Bankman Fried was arrested in the Bahamas. The president received campaign donations, campaign donation from him. Many prominent Democrats did, some Republicans did as well. Will the president return that donation? Does he call on all politicians who got campaign donations that may have come from customer money to return those funds?
So look, I'm covered here by the Hatch Act, limited on what I can say, and anything that's connected to political contributions from here, I would have to refer you to the DNC.
I'm asking the president's opinion, though. Does he want those people who...
No, you asked me two questions. You asked me about will he return the donations, and then you asked me about his opinion. I'm answering the first part, which is I'm covered by the Hatch Act from here. I'm limited on what I can say, and I just can't talk to political contributions or anything related to that. I cannot speak about it from here.
And then his opinion, though?
I just cannot speak to this from here. Even his opinion, even his thoughts about the contributions, donations, I cannot speak about that from here.
And then are you covered by the Hatch Act?
I am covered by the Hatch Act, which I'm happy to say over and over again because we believe in the rule of law here.
Oh, yeah. She says that with a straight face. We believe in the rule of law here. Can you believe these people?
That is hilarious.
Someone in the chat said, her name's not Corinne Jean-Pierre. It's Cringe Jean-Pierre. I like that. Cringe Jean-Pierre. So this is really amazing. I mean, this press release saying that any politician or group that does not make a voluntary refund faces the prospect of a bankruptcy court lawsuit to recover the money, plus interest, since the start of any action. I mean, and they're trying to claw back hundreds of millions of dollars in political donations. And the thing is, and to celebrities, to charities, and by the way, not just Democrats, but mostly Democrats, but Republicans too. So anyone who's touched by this should be returning this money. And the problem is that they haven't. Republicans and Democrats haven't. Maybe they did it quietly. Maybe some of them did it quietly. We don't know. They didn't announce that they got donations and they just returned them quietly. But what's about to happen is we're going to learn names if they don't return this money. For a lot of them, though, they've already spent it. Right? That's the real trick here. Oh, you received millions of dollars in donations and you spent it. Now what do? Now you're going to have to pay it back through bankruptcy court proceedings with interest somehow. He pleaded not guilty, Bankman Fried did, to criminal charges that he defrauded investors in FTX. He's in detention. He's in detention right now at his parents' home in California. After someone put up $250 million bail. Who was that? Wouldn't you like to know who that is? We still don't know, and the judge won't allow us to know. The former billionaire who conducted what prosecutors say was one of the biggest frauds in American history was extradited from the Bahamas in December. So I love that. I mean, would this happen to anybody else? You donate so much money to Democrat politicians and Republicans, but mostly Democrats. And you hang out at the Clinton Global Initiative. You hang out in Glad Hand with all these people. And then you're in detention in your parents' house? What? So Bankman Fried and other members of FTX leadership donated large sums to charities, including the FTX Foundation and the FTX Future Fund, to promote his interests. The FTX Foundation had given away $140 million. They reported in October. That's a lot of money. U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York says that Bankman Fried and his colleagues siphoned off billions of dollars in customer funds from FTX to spend on luxury properties. So that's another question I have is, great, you're going after the politicians to get money back, but what about all of the properties and things that you've provided for your employees? Like you put them up in lavish, like condominiums in the Bahamas. You built lavish, palatial palaces, basically. You going to sell those? How is that stuff going to be liquidated? But a lot of the funds have been lost because they were laundered through Ukraine. So they funneled those to Ukrainian politicians who then also built big mansions and flew to Morocco or not Morocco. Where's the casino? The big famous, not Morocco. Anybody?
Shoot.
Monaco.
Monaco, yeah.
Yeah.
I was literally going through the ABBA song,
Right.
Money, money, money. And I was like, she says it in there. Hang on, wait. So I was going through the lyrics in my head.
You're playing the song in your head. Oh boy. So, I don't know how they're going to be able to pull this off. This should be, though, the easier part. That's what experts are saying and all that. The reason they're going after them. And will this money go back to investors? Will this money go back to people who had money in FTX? And by proxy, BlockFi and other crypto exchanges who went under because they were now insolvent because of FTX. There's a lot of collateral damage here. It's not just FTX. It's BlockFi. It's other exchanges. And it's also other investors in other investments because of what happened with FTX. Under U.S. law, payments or transfers made within 90 days of bankruptcy are presumed to be preferential if they result in a creditor getting more than it would have been entitled to at the end of the bankruptcy process. And a clawback can attempt to recover the difference in the payments. Despite making numerous sizable charity donations of its own, FTX is warning those from whom it's seeking refunds that they may not give away any of the money. Recipients are cautioned that making a payment or donation to a third party, including a charity, in the amount of any payment received from an FTX contributor does not prevent the FTX debtors from seeking recovery from the recipients or the subsequent transferees. So this is important because, and by the way, I don't know if any of you watched the Bernie Madoff Netflix series. Ooh, it's good. I think it's like 6 episodes or 4 episodes or 5 episodes. I don't know. It's a documentary and it's really good. There's a lot in there I didn't realize. But one of the things I didn't realize was the clawbacks. After, of course, he admitted it and they went through the whole process and they found that they're trying to get all this money back from Bernie and They ended up going to investors who Bernie ended up paying a lot of money to, people who like actually did okay or did really well. They didn't know that it was fake. They had no idea. And so then they had to deal with the clawback attorneys coming for them. So like they made a legitimate investment in Bernie Madoff. And then the clawback attorneys said, sorry, we know that you invested what you thought was legit and you made good returns, but the returns were illegal. So we need to give us that money. You need to give us the money that you profited from. And a lot of people did. And they had to go through their individual court battles with the clawback attorneys for people that got money. It's awful. Just to try to recoup some of the losses to give it out to people that really got destroyed. And you can never make those people whole again. So it'll be curious to see how much money they'll be able to claw back. And because there's a lot of people that made a lot of money off of FTX. So will they go after those people? And try to do the clawbacks from those people to give to the people that get lost, like, like Robin Hood in a way. And those people thought they were making a legitimate investment, or they were, they were getting legitimate contributions and so forth from these people. And they maybe built, for instance, just think of a charity that got money from FTX and they built like a center, they built like a basketball, I don't know, they built like a community center or something, right? I'm just making stuff up with that money. Well, what are they going to do? There's no money now. We built a center. Sell it? What are we going to do? So they're going to have to come up with different settlements for every specific case. That's why this thing is an absolute needle in a haystack, to pull apart all of these things. And they're going to have attorneys going back and forth and dealing with each of these things. This is going to take years to unravel. So sadly, a lot of these politicians will be out of their jobs by then, and we won't know. But we want to know names now. Like, I want to know who are the biggest, receivers of money from FTX. And wouldn't we love to see the unraveling of this money funneling through Ukraine? But I don't think we'll ever get to see it, unfortunately. Thank you so much for watching this segment here at Redacted. We are live every day at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, trying to share the stories that the mainstream media will not cover. You should also come over and join our community of Redacted Rebels over at redacted.inc. That's our private locals community where we can share exclusive content that we simply cannot share here on YouTube. Come over and join the rebellion together right now by going to redacted.inc. We'll see you next time.